Hi, Melina from Yogeek here. So we're continuing our conversation about shoulders. So today's class is going to be focused more on ways to build strength and also kind of sneak in some mobility. I will add a sneak 'em in video for specific mobility work that you can sneak in through the day. Those are more something that you would do sideline, but check those out in my sneak 'em in videos. But today we're going to focus on strength, so adding a little bit of mobility. So I'm not going to personally lift very heavy weights for these. I am working for myself. I'm kind of working through some shoulder tightness, so this kind of was very fortuitous. So one of the first exercises I'm going to show you are the front and lateral raise, which you see in a ton of workout videos all the time. What happens is if we're not doing the activation like we talked about last week and really understanding what muscles are supposed to be engaged, this is an exercise that if you lift too heavy, you can just kind of fly through and other parts of your body start getting involved. And you're moving away from the form and the intention and the benefit of the exercise. So front raises, you want to roll those shoulders back, and it's not rolling back so that you're thrusting through the chest. It's just kind of moving those shoulders back so that you feel a little bit of that engagement again between the shoulder blades and whatnot, and you're kind of setting yourself up for a better position. Your stance is going to be neutral, so feet are about hip point distance apart. Pelvis is under you, so you're not popping that booty or tucking that pelvis. Take a big breath in as you exhale if your rib cage is sticking out. Let that come back down into a neutral spine. So you should feel your core engaging already. And with this, you're gonna lift the weights to the front, just shoulder height, come back out, and then lift to the side, just shoulder height, and come back out. So this is the front raise, and this is the side raise. So I'm not doing them super fast because I want to make sure that I'm activating the right muscles. What happens on the side raise sometimes is we start to crunch up. So that's why we went over that activation technique last week. So review that if you're kind of like, ugh, I'm feeling it in my neck. So front raise, and you're a little soft in the elbow. And what I mean by that is that you're not jamming out and locking out that elbow joint. So those are front and lateral raises, and those are going to hit this lovely little deltoid right here, which so the front is going to hit up here, and then the side will also, that's what gives you that lovely little cap, the shoulder cap. Obviously stay within your range of motion, and it's always better to start lighter or even without weights to perfect the form and then start adding weights. The other one is seated snow angel. So I've done stuff like this for like in yoga classes or mobility work where you can do them up against a wall, but with weights, again, either starting without weights, super light weights, but you want to make sure that when you're doing this, again, form is on point, so those shoulders are looped back, and you're gonna come up, overhead, and back, down. Not a fast motion. Up, overhead. I'm not gripping the weight super tight. And just trying to be mindful that that chest isn't popping out. So a good way to think about that, and a cue you might hear, especially if it's more of a yoga cue, is, knit that rib cage in. And what that means is you're coming from this extension through the thoracic, exhaling and letting that thoracic spine move into a more neutral position, activating the core to help stabilize and keep you there. So we have front raise, lateral raise, and those lovely little snow angels. Another one, I'll add the weight a little bit on this one, are Arnold presses. So with Arnold presses, this can be a little tricksy because if you lift a little heavier, form might go. So you're gonna bring the weights in front of you like this. So again, I'm not doing a death grip on the weights. Shoulders are kind of looped back so I'm not in the neck. And then you're gonna come out and press up, down, and back together. out, feeling that back engage, press up, down, and back together. Okay, so those are your Arnold presses. And the last one, I think I might have shown this last week, are the seated Ys. So this again is going to help work the back muscles as well as the shoulders. I always recommend people to start maybe without weight, just to make sure you have the form correct. And then if you want to add weight, go very, very light and then increase from there. It's not one of those like exercises where it's like, oh, I'm gonna bulk out and do this one. This is more functional movement and building that stability for the shoulder blades, or for the shoulder blades. All right, so you're gonna be in a seated position. You're gonna hinge forward at the hips. Gaze is gonna be down at the mat, so your back is nice and long, so you're not rounding through the back. Have that core engagement, you're hinging forward. Gaze at the floor. Nice big inhale, exhale, and then you're just gonna lift the weights to a Y and back down. Y, back down. And keeping it out of the neck and focusing on that sensation in the back. So a good way to start this without the weights is really activate through the arms, hinge forward at the hips, and imagine that you're lifting your arms through water. So it's nice and slow, and back down. It's funny, I'm peeking because I can feel where my own shoulders are a little tight. But I'm not feeling it in the neck. And back down. All right. So those are a few exercises to help you work on strength, activation, and whatnot for the shoulders. So as always, if there's something specific you want to see, shoot me a message, leave it in the comments. So thanks for being here. I'm going to do a sneak 'em in video for some of just the strict mobility work for the shoulder, and then I think we'll move on to something else. All right, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I wish you the best. Be safe, be well.